The biggest mistake that I made when it comes to public speaking is trying to just show off to the audience about your subject matter expertise and how good you are when it comes to that particular content. I realized that during my earlier days when I started out as a presenter, as a speaker, I think back when I was 16 or 17 years old, I felt that in a speech, it's really very important to say it in a non-subtle manner, how good you are, and then that's the way to help build credibility. Whether it's to flaunt and talk about your achievements, accolades, and awards, whether it's to talk about your leadership position, and whether it's to talk about the kind of frequency, how experienced you are. Because that was what I heard, that people talk about their level of experiences, and hopefully people would then take me seriously. So I thought in a speech, it was about credibility and really put it out there like a screaming out loud brand. But later on, I then realized, after gathering feedback from my audience, finding out from them, hey, what did you find about my speech and my presentation? And here I want to make a side note, that is, depending on who you ask, not all will be willing to tell you the truth, and not all will be willing to tell you exactly what you would need to hear, even though it may not be exactly very pleasant to your ears. People who are meeting you for the very first time and you ask them, most of the time they will be nice, they'll be kind, and they will just say that, well, it was fine, it was good, it was okay. But when you really ask some of your friends who are very close and you tell your friends that no matter what you say, I wouldn't get upset, that's the caveat I put out there. Could you tell me in what way you felt uncomfortable with listening to my presentation? Is there anything that I can improve? And that was what I did. First, asking my good friends. Number two, I decided to conduct an anonymous poll by giving out feedback forms and asking people, please do not write your names on it because I want to make it anonymous. And that was when the honest feedback came in. And the number one thing that the audience commented at that point in time was, Darren, you need to tone and dial it down more, especially when it comes to talking about, say, your credibility, your achievements and all. Because by just turning up, we already know that you are credible. That's why we are turning up to listen to you in the first place. And there are more subtle ways to do it. And I made it a point to learn from that day on, how can I, and it's important, yes, it's important, my mentor shared with me as well, it's important for a speaker to be able to talk about your credibility. But the key is, how do you say it? How do you frame it? How do you make it in a way where it's not like screaming out loud? It's the same thing with sales. You don't want to be pushy, you don't want to do hard selling, but how you do it in a way that it's soft selling, that is subtle selling, in a way that not what you want to sell to someone, but more of how you can make people buy from you, right? Then I learned 3 things. And in this video, I want to share with you the 3 things that can help you as well. If you're going to share your credibility with the audience, how you can do it in a nuanced manner that is going to fit right comfortably with your audience. Number 1, third party. It is best, instead of just praising yourself, there's this saying which says self-praise is no praise, if you can have someone else to praise you. For example, instead of saying, well, mom, I've been a good boy, that is you praising yourself, as compared to the teacher saying, hey, do you know that Darren has been a great student and he has seen great improvement? Which one do you find more credible? Which one are you likely to attach more weight to? More likely to the one that someone else says something good about you. That's why businesses now go with, of course, reviews about them from someone else. It's not themselves saying that my food is the number 1 in Singapore, but other people saying your food is the number 1 in Singapore. So using someone else's testimonial, like so-and-so had this to say about my program after going through that. It's way better than my program is this. Join this program right now. Yeah, that's number 1, third party. Number 2, frame the achievements or the leadership position and the experience as a solution for them. So instead of saying that, hey, I'm the world champion in public reading, saying that, oh, in my years competing and eventually making it as the world champion in public reading, I make it a point, I've learned a lot of lessons that I want to share with others so that they can avoid the same mistake. Make sure that you fleshed out that solution. You fleshed out what exactly can that do to help them. Otherwise, they just be thinking in their minds, okay, let me clap for you. You're the world champion in public reading, but that's you. What does it mean for me? What is in it for me? Yeah? And the third thing, when it comes to sharing credibility, what it could do also is remember to back it up. It means instead of just using very qualitative descriptions, just use objective figures. Like, for example, instead of saying that, oh, I'm a great presenter, that is qualitative, that's an adjective. Give something concrete. Oh, I've been in the industry for the past 20 years. So that's something more concrete, right? So make use of these 3 tips, and you'll be able to still bolster your credibility, but doing it in a manner that's very palatable for your audience.